So, hello everybody. My name is Rye. For those of you that don't know me, this is just like a mini introduction video to my YouTube page. First and foremost, I would like to thank all of my subscribers. I know I don't have that many, but that's okay. We're just starting out. If you see this, please like it, share it, or share any video, from my page. My page is strictly going to, not strictly, but more so, is going to talk about me having lupus. I might post a little bit of food videos on here as well because, I love to cook. So yeah, but anyways, I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't know how to edit videos, so you guys are definitely going to get all of the bloopers and all of the mishaps and mistakes and all of that good stuff. But anywho, for starters, my Instagram page is fabulousrye_. My food page is Rye's Fabulous Foodie. My tutoring page is Rye's Fabulous Tutoring. And yeah, so you guys can follow those pages. I will also have them linked below in the, about me section. So yeah, that's just for starters, but I'm nervous, y'all. I also look really cute. But anywho, let's just get started. So this is just a mini introduction. I do want to give you guys story time. So I'm going to just go into like a brief introduction about when I was diagnosed with lupus. And I don't want the videos to be too long, at least 15 minutes max, because people get bored, people get tired, and I don't like to keep repeating myself, but bear with me because there's a thing called lupus fog, and we get memory loss. Like, we have memory loss. So sometimes I forget that I told you guys things, or sometimes that sometimes I might forget that I've said something. But I'm really not gonna try to like repeat anything in like this short introduction. Anywho, today I am 28. Shout out to the higher power for allowing me to see another birthday. My birthday was December 2nd, which was the Friday that just passed. Anywho, I was recently diagnosed with lupus back in February of 2021. So let's fast forward. See, look, blooper, ignore that. Let's rewind. I'm sorry, because I'm not going to re-record this, okay? So let's rewind to how everything got started. So, for instance, I started teaching in 2017. I started teaching, middle school, 6th through 8th grade, ELA. If anybody needs a tutor, holla at your girl, or whatever the case may be. But and then little things started happening to me, a couple years ago. I would wake up with like scars and like rashes and things of that nature, but they would disappear the next day. Like, I would go to bed perfectly fine, and then I would wake up and something would be, somewhere, and I'm like, where did this come from? And then I would go to bed again and it would be gone. But then one day I woke up, and I don't know if you guys can see, but sorry for being so close. If you can see like the scarring on my eyelids, hopefully you guys can see. And I woke up and my eyes were scarred up. Didn't hurt, didn't cause me any pain, whatsoever. But I did go to the doctors about it. I went to see my primary care physician, and they asked the basic questions like, does your eyes hurt? Is it bothering you? So forth, so forth, so forth. And I'm like, no, but I'm not really big on scars. Like, scarring is natural to a certain extent, but I don't like, like scars and, and acne and things of that nature. I mean, I just try my best to avoid hurting myself and, all of that. I try my best to take care of my skin, and it's just something that comes natural to me. Like, I try really hard. It's not always possible, but I do. So they ignored the scarring on my eyelids. Boom. Now we can fast forward to me using up all of my sick days. Literally, I had no sick days left. Meaning the last sick day that I put in, I didn't have any money to cover it. So I had to tell him, like, I'm still not coming, you know. But I was continuously out of work because I had to go to the doctors because I was having really bad chest pain. And it's just things I don't play about, like my eyesight and having a heart attack. Like, I mean, we can't help it. But chest pain is something that you do not want to play with. So I go to the doctors ASAP. ASAP. I'm having a hard time breathing, like really, really bad chest pain that's causing me not to sleep. And if like my eyes were bothering me. But I was out a lot because they couldn't tell me what was wrong. So I've had x-rays, I've had MRIs, I've had CAT scans. I've had biopsies done, you know. And I had my first biopsy, I think, in 2017 or 2018. My first ever biopsy. And that was to check my breast, you know. It was a scary procedure, but it all went well. So that was that. Still unknown causes. The doctors couldn't tell me anything. I seemed like a perfectly healthy 20, however old I was, you know, during that time. And just last year, I was 27. So yeah, so boom, now fast forward to, you know, I stopped teaching in 2019. I've been, you know, up and down with working places here and there. But in 2020, when COVID hit, I was babysitting and I was doing Instacart to make money to pay my bills. And I mean, I was doing Instacart at the break of dawn. I was doing like 8 hours a day for Instacart because you would make decent money if you worked Instacart like a regular job, you know? So I was out there, and I was out there in Crocs and leggings. Y'all, my feet was hurting so bad. Do y'all understand? So I'm doing this for months on. And then it's just like, it's becoming a problem. And then I started babysitting this baby and her little brother, and I would babysit at their parents' house. And of course, when you get sick, everyone thinks that you have COVID or something of that nature, not just a regular little cold. But I was sick. And my toes and stuff, they hurt really, really, really bad. But of course, you think, you know, I'm young. We work so much because we got to pay bills. I'm driving a lot. You know, it's just like, maybe I need to relax. Maybe I need to stay off my feet. That wasn't the case. So, and of course, I'm like, well, I keep my toes done. And at this point of time, I was actually going to one specific salon out Owens Mills to get my toes done. But I'm like, it can't be, you know, them doing my toes because, you know, them people could be a little rough. So we would be like, you need to calm the hell down. Like, you're hurting my feet. But it wasn't that. I'm like, my toes stayed done, so it couldn't have been that. But I mean, my toes was hurting. And you know how we all think our parents, our mother is a doctor. And I'm like, Mom, my toes hurt. And she's like, well, you know, maybe you need to soak your feet, stay off your feet. And I'm like, okay, cool. Boom. Didn't work. Then as I was babysitting, you know, I'm always so tired. I'm so tired. They're like, you know, if you're not feeling well, you can stay home. And I'm like, okay, cool. To go get tested for COVID. So you guys, I was tested 6 times negative for COVID. Couldn't tell me nothing. The first time I was tested, negative. The second time I was tested, negative. Third time I was tested, negative. And I mean, by the third time, I was very sick. I was not babysitting. You know, I don't get paid if I don't babysit or anything of that nature. And then the last time I went to urgent care because something was clearly wrong, but they tested me, you know, COVID for the 5th time. But my pulse was extremely low, so I was rushed to the emergency room. And of course, at the emergency room, they was like, you know, I was dehydrated, no COVID again, because they tested me again. And I had signs of pneumonia, COVID pneumonia, whatever that is. You people just be making up anything. But it's okay, I understand. So that was that. And they told me to do the basics. You know, this is when quarantine was 14 days. So they're like, you know, go home, relax, stay hydrated, and to stay home. And I'm like, I am staying home because something's wrong. Like, I don't know what's wrong. And then from there, you know, your primary care physician, that they are notified that you've been inside of the emergency room. So they're calling me, my doctor's calling me, trying to figure out what's wrong. I have to do a follow-up, you know, and by then, this was January 2021. So I knew something was wrong because my birthday came. I was in heels. I was doing my thing. And then my friends treated me to Deep Creek. I went to Deep Creek, but I slept the whole trip. I didn't do any fun, nothing at Deep Creek, okay? But January got here. I still was asleep. My feet still was hurting. And it was just horrible. But by now, it is still January 2021. And my follow-up appointment with my doctor isn't until February 10th, I want to say. So it's still early January. And it's just like, I'm just going to stay in the bed, pray to God I don't die. But I'm not going to the hospital. Like, I was determined not to go to the hospital. And my mom is like, she calls me Betty. She's begging me, like, you know, to go to the hospital. She's getting my friends to call me. She's calling my friends, like, can somebody take her to the hospital? Can somebody please talk her into going to the hospital? Because I'm just like, I don't want to go to the hospital because for one, it was COVID. For two, nobody can go with you. For three, I hate hospitals. I do not like germs. I am like a germophobic. It's just disgusting. Like, people are so disgusting. Hospitals are so dirty. So I just was like, I'm going to be okay. Like, I'll just wait until my follow-up appointment, which is February 10th. Mind you guys, we're still in January. And I'll just go to the hospital then. Hand to God, hand to the high power, or whomever it is that you believe in. I did not get any better. I don't know that I have lupus yet, though. But I'm very, very sick. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't drink. I was throwing up air. Like, my esophagus was sore. And I was very, very weak. So, and my mom was just like, you know, I didn't feel like talking to nobody. I didn't want to do anything. So, excuse me, I made a little post on Facebook, like, telling people to pray for me because I'm very sick and I don't know what's wrong. But I was going to go MIA for a while. And my mom is still begging me to go to the hospital. She was like, I'll Uber. And by this time, I couldn't drive my car because something was really wrong. So I had to get, like, my brother to come move my car. You know, we got all this snow and stuff to put my windshield wipers up to drive my car around the block because I don't pay for my car. The car that I now own. Thanks. Shout out to the higher power for that one. But it was to the point where as though I couldn't do any of that. So my mom finally got me an Uber. I Ubered down to Mercy because everything for me is at Mercy. Like, all of my doctors are at Mercy. And I was still very sick. Of course, I had on the mask and all of that, but I could barely walk. So when I got to the hospital, I'm like, I can't leave unless you guys tell me what's wrong. I'm like, I don't have COVID. I don't know what's wrong. They tested me again for COVID. 7th time tested negative. No COVID. They doing blood work. They trying to do this. Boom. I look like a perfectly healthy 27-year-old. I do. Didn't feel like it, but I looked like it. They couldn't tell me nothing. By then, it's time for them to, like, get me a rum. But before they got to that point, they are like, well, we're going to draw some blood. They're like, you're dehydrated. I know I'm dehydrated. Something wrong. I'm thirsty, but it ain't staying down. Yeah. Help a sister out. Okay? But yeah, so they hooking me up to all of this stuff. They're getting blood work. They're getting work from, like, blood from my hands. I mean, you know, you get blood from all parts of the body that has a vein in it, you know? I was stuck so many times. Pain. But I survived. Anywho, I still don't know that I have lupus. They still don't know what's wrong. But remember when I said my feet were hurting, like excruciating, like pain, like I could barely walk. Felt like I was walking on the cement, y'all. And I was like, y'all, my feet hurt so bad. This is what I told the doctors. I was like, my feet hurt so bad. Y'all, they took my socks off. The bottom of my soles were filled with blood clots. I mean, disgusting, excruciating pain and clots on the bottom of my soles. And then they did more tests. And they couldn't find anything wrong. But by then, I had already started changing my appearance. I had rashes. I had scars, rashes all over my body. I was losing my hair. God is so good, y'all. God is so good. And fast forward to, I've had to stay in the hospital. I'm going to end that video right here. Thank you.